Good morning, and thank you very much. As Frank mentioned, I'm Mike Levin, a resident of Flagstaff since 1964 and a business owner since 1982. We're a poor facsimile of Barbara, but we will do our best. And Audie needs no further introduction. We're very fortunate to know this individual both at a personal level and professionally as well. And we have the privilege of having his son in our company now too. And at the conclusion of this, you'll understand why we are much better contractors than we are public speakers. So we'll move that along. Really, what I want to do is have Audie really talk about the restoration of the watchtower. All familiar with it. Original photograph there. There was a wooden structure there originally, and then Mary Coulter, Fred Harvey Companies, built the watchtower. So Mary Coulter very much hands-on, not necessarily every contractor's wish to have the architect hand select each stone for you, but it worked. So this is a large steel structure forming really the body of the Desert View Watchtower. Historical Preservation Act comes along. Property is listed in the register. This is one of Barbara's photos. The watchtower is listed as a national landmark. So in the historic report, there were numerous issues with the building that could affect its long-term performance and even, its physical presence. So it was determined that there was a plan for rehabilitation would be developed, and Audie was integral with a lot of the planning on that going back. And point of clarification, Audie worked on this job when he was working for a contractor who we respect greatly, D.L. Norton in Phoenix. They've done a lot of work up here as well, and they retired, and so 4 years ago we were fortunate to have Audie. So the work on the watchtower is actually done as employee of D.L. Norton. So now we get into kind of the structure, some early pictures of the watchtower. And then, Audie, if you want to tell us a little bit about what we see on the right-hand side of the photo there as the project begins to progress.
Anyway, we're in the process of establishing a temporary roof to protect the building while we fix the roof itself. Right there, we've got like a 100-foot lift, and we're actually starting some repointing work. So those guys actually touched every joint on that building, and we had another lift there that was 125 foot, boom, that actually articulated so those guys could actually shake hands on the back side of the building. Again, that was the major long-term effort, was to do the repointing work, and those guys were there, I think, 7 months. There was 2 sets of 2 guys in each lift, and every day they'd pick a plane and work it from top to bottom so we wouldn't get confused.
So with the vertical cracking, that was part of the effort as well, right? There's 3 distinct vertical cracks in that building.
That's correct. They were caused by the steel frame and the movement of the stone, and we opened those up with a tool and then created a mortar joint.
So the phase 1 was to improve the exterior, resist water infiltration, and then, as Audie mentioned, the repointing of all the mortar joints. So the entire project took a little over 2 years to complete. And in that first photo, the temporary structure on top of the building, as you can imagine, that had to be a fairly robust structure to withstand the winds and the seasons through the whole process. So really a pretty phenomenal effort. And as we all know, on the backside, it's about 1,100 feet to the next stop. So you have to be very diligent and careful with your materials and your workforce, obviously. Audie, anything to add to these photos?
Again, keep doing that. That was probably one of the most challenging things to overcome. We built a pad, an equipment pad on the west side, compacted native AB, and then built the berm so there wasn't any way that you could drive off that pad into the canyon.
So that is the brief synopsis of the reconstruction of the Desert View Watchtower. So we thank you for your time this morning. Frank, any questions or anything? Any questions about the process? Yes, sir? The cost?
About $1.2 million.
If somebody asks a question, repeat the question.
Okay, all right.
Who had the question?
What is repointing?
It's when you remove the deteriorated mortar to a certain point where it's sound, and then you bring it back with a new mortar.
So many lineal feet of repointing on this particular project. Other questions? Yes, Helen? So how large of a crew?
We maintained about 4 masons and 2 carpenters throughout. Here in the village, and then some of them traveled from here to Flag.
Yes, sir?
Were there problems with the steel structure underneath, and if there were, how did you deal with that? Did you have to take the stones off to get through it?
So the question is, were there inherent issues with the underlying steel skeleton?
Actually, we investigated that, and the steel structure was sound. They decided there wasn't any issues. So again, we had the contraction expansion problem, which we took care of with establishing an expansion line from top to bottom, basically from the base stone all the way to the top. And it happened in 3 areas.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, I noticed that there was a pretty steep angle with your boom. Did you have to counterweight your boom apparatus to keep it from tipping?
Like I say, we built a level base pad out of structural material, meaning structural AB, so that we maintain a level platform at all times. And those machines are made to maintain a weight at a horizontal position safely.
In the far back? How much interior work?
Most of the interior work we removed and renovated all the windows, which we took out and replaced them with a temporary window, which had a polycarbonate that weren't operable. And then we took those, stripped them down, brought them back to their existing condition and reinstalled them. And then we put back all of our investigation work. We, of course, put it back to the original condition.
Yes?
Did you learn anything new about the building that was previously unknown, or find any signatures or artifacts from when it was being built?
Any discoveries during the process?
There was a rattlesnake or 2 that lived at the base of it.
Yes. It's only a 20-minute presentation. So we can't take you through the whole adjudication process, but yes. Yes, sir. The wind and considerations for that.
Yeah, that was one of my major concerns. Our temporary roof, we established a connection that didn't hurt the building, and I made it to where if it left, it all left in one piece.
Yes, sir.
Were there mechanical systems that needed updating and replacement, or was it all just structure that you worked on?
Any mechanical, electrical, or plumbing during the restoration?
Very minimal. It was all structure.
Yes.
Are you still involved in the ongoing, issues regarding water leakage there and all that? Do you have an ongoing presence in, working on the town?
Not at this time, no. All right, thank you very much for your time and consideration this morning.